Welcome back. Today we have something very serious to discuss. This is Lola. This is Paco. We are here to stand in solidarity for Archimedes. Donnie Daggers, you know what to do. Okay, so today's book that we are looking at is called Sworn to the Sea, and we will get to hashtag Justice for Archimedes in a minute. So, Sworn to the Sea. I love this book so much. Cannot wait to get the next one. But we follow Levanine, and she later gets renamed to Levi. But you'll see why in a minute. Levanine is a maid for a wealthy family. And the family has a daughter they're trying to get married off. But Levanine points out that she is very high maintenance, so good luck with that. However, before a suitor, they're setting up the house and there's the suitor coming in, and he's apparently a really big deal because they put out all the stops. All of their best cutlery, all their best artwork, all their best pieces. They are making an impression for this guy. And they are determined that this is the guy that's going to marry their daughter, finally. And before he can get there, the house is taken over by pirates. And they're led by Captain Guy. Levanine is not happy about pirates being in the house, but she's not as freaked out as the rest of the staff, to the point that she's the only one that kind of keeps her head when things really get hairy, because they come in, they steal a bunch of the gold and the silver and all the precious things that the family has, and they're eating all of their food, and they threaten to take the daughter to hold as ransom. And Levanine convinces them to take her instead. And everybody else is like, why would you do that? And for whatever reason, Levanine just can't let them take the girl. She's like, nope, take me instead, let the girl be. And so the Captain Guy says, okay, you have to swear to me that you will not try to escape, and you have to swear to me that you will not take your own life. And she swears it, and this is how she is sworn to the sea. And so she goes on board, and she finds herself very much out of place. She's used to working hard, but she's not used to the type of hard work that is on board the ship. But she quickly gets used to it eventually. You know, she's not used to hauling in nets from fishing, because the pirates, while they will steal, rob, steal, and plunder, they do also try to get their a lot of things the honest way. So yeah, we're gonna have fresh fish, we're gonna have to fish for our own fish, you know. So she's learning how to haul in nets for fishing. She's learning how to swap the deck with what she describes as a rat impaled on the pole, and she's like, that's what that looks like. It looks like a rat that's been impaled on a pole. And she's like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't think too much about how accurate that might actually be. And she just uses this device to swap the deck. She learns how to be a part of the crew, and there's a guy, one of the crew members is Norin, and he lives up in the crow's nest. And I was telling my husband about Norin, and he's like, wait, he lives in the crow's nest? I said, well, he comes down and sleeps in the hammocks once in a while. I said, but for the most part, yeah, he lives up in the crow's nest. And my husband's only thought to add to that was, might be a good idea not to stand too close to the crow's nest when he's got to relieve himself. Now, Norin is not up in that crow's nest by himself. He is up there with his bird, a parrot named Archimedes. And Archimedes is a very good boy, Dawn. He didn't deserve that. He also is a very sassy boy and a very clever boy. When it's time to get paid, he's the one that collects the payment. And at one point, when he's alone with Levi, Levanine, he kind of gives her a sassy side eye, like, what are you looking at? You know? And so I loved Archimedes, even though you don't get a whole lot of interaction with him. The interaction you do get with him is enough to make you just love Archimedes. So hashtag justice for Archimedes. Dawn, make it better. I will tell you guys, just so if anybody's concerned, we do not see Archimedes die, so don't worry about that. He does lose a few feathers, which, I mean, they were attacked by a sea monster, so fair. But, Dawn, you know what you did. Fix it. Make him better. You know, and wait a minute. I did ask Dawn about this, and this was her. This was her answer. A ferret. This is Swift. He's a puppet, but he's not Archimedes. I mean, Archimedes could definitely use another animal friend. I'm not denying that. But justice for Archimedes, okay? So, hang there, Swift. Oddly enough, I had these parrots and this ferret before I got this book. This was a Christmas present to my husband last Christmas. This was a gift he got back in before 2018. And this guy I got 3 years ago? Yeah, something like that. 2 or 3 years ago. All good boys and good girls. As far as Sworn to the Sea, though, I really liked this because there was not necessarily a big problem. Like, it wasn't, okay, she's going on the sea, she gets kidnapped or taken prisoner by the pirate crew, they make her a forced member, an indentured servant basically on the crew, and she is a part of this crew and everything, and then they have a specific destination of, we have to go here and do this thing and solve this problem. It's just pirates being pirates. They're sailing along the sea. She's getting to know the guys. They have different islands that they stop off at, and it's not so much that they have one big problem to solve, but multiple problems to solve. They have discourse on the ship because, you know, you live in close proximity with people, you're going to kind of get on each other's nerves. They have, they deal with all kinds of different things. Each island brings its own little intricacy, or sometimes it's a island and it's, hey, there's danger here. Sometimes it's an island and it's, hey, this is not bad. This is a nice place to be, you know? And other times it's looks okay and then it turns dangerous, or it looks dangerous and then it turns out okay. So they're just exploring, and everywhere they stop, it's another situation that they have to figure out, you know. And so it's just a life of pirates, and all these little things, according to Dawn, are things that will tie into the next story. And I love that it's just, this book is basically Levi learning how to be a pirate and learning how to be a part of this crew, to the point where she's not sure if she's actually been kidnapped or if she's been rescued at this point, you know? So, I liked the different characters. I liked the way she interacted with them and how because she eventually bonds with each member of the crew, but she does it in different ways. So for one of them, they both want head wraps, but she wants a head wrap and he wants a head wrap, and they want it for different things, and for different things that are important to them. And she bonds with the captain because of another thing. And then everybody she's bonding with over something different, and they all appeal to a different part of her. And she finds her place among these men as not just an indentured servant, but a crew member that they value and they respect and they care about. And she's finally able to do the things that she's been forbidden to do back at home. She's allowed to learn to read and write. She's never been allowed to read and write. She's never been allowed, it's not allowed for a woman to cut her hair. It's not allowed for a woman to wear anything other than a skirt or a dress, and she's got her hair cut, and she's wearing her breeches and dressed like a man, and she's learning to read and write and figure everything out and help, and she's learning to be a part of this crew, and I love it. And just the banter that she has between the different crews, because at first she's very withdrawn and very timid and very shy and so afraid of everything, and as time goes on she gets a little bolder, she gets a little more brazen, and she starts, when one of the guys will kind of hand her a slight, she hands it right back to him, and she's laughing and joking and having a good time with the guys, and she's just living this life and figuring out who she is and who she can be. And she has moments where she's looking in the mirror and she's not sure she likes who she sees, because she doesn't recognize the person she sees. The person she sees is tanner and more muscular, and she's like, I don't know. But the more she grows into herself and grows into this persona of being a pirate and being a part of this crew, and she meets other military people, and she meets other pirates, and she meets other sailors, and she meets merchants, and the more she gets to know this world, because she's never been far from the house that she was a maid in. This was her place, and she wasn't a paid servant. She was basically a slave to this family, and the best they could say about their masters is, oh, we love our masters, they're great. If we displease them, the worst they're going to do is beat us. And that was the best they could say about them, because other masters were, if their people displeased them, they shoved hot coals down their throats, and they maimed them and mutilated them. And these guys are like, we got it pretty good. We just get slapped around a bit. We might get whipped, but we've got all our fingers, And it's like, that's so horrific that is your measure of a good master. And being on this ship, Levi is finding out that she's not being treated like a servant. She's being treated like an equal, like her opinion matters. And she's realizing how great she has it being on this ship, and that's why she has that conundrum of, have I been kidnapped or have I been rescued? Because this ain't that bad. Like, I should have gotten kidnapped way sooner. So yeah, I would absolutely, I can't wait to be in this world more and be with these characters more, and the banter, like I said, the banter and the relationship they develop between each other, where they are just zinging each other, but they genuinely, and you can tell from the way they talk to each other and the way they act with each other, that they genuinely care about each other, that this is a true brotherhood. And they would, like, Levi at first is just, well, at first, up to the end, she is constantly surprised that these guys are willing to go to the ends of the earth to look for her and make sure she's okay, because she's their crew member. She's one of them. She's their brother, their sister, whatever. She is a part of their family, and they're not going to leave her behind no matter what. So, I love this. I love this crew. I love Levi. I love this world they're living in. This is not one of our this is a fantasy world. There are sea monsters. There are cave monsters. There are elves and all kinds of different mythological creatures. There's 3 moons, like 2 or 3 moons in the sky, and it's great. And I definitely want to see more of this interaction between Guy and the female pirate that it was trying to get, like, hey, Levi, ditch these guys and come join us. And she's like, female pirate, that's intriguing. And Guy's like, you promised. And there is a point where she does get, there's a freedom island. And she's told both by Guy and by this female pirate that once she sets foot in that port, she is free, and that her sworn fidelity to Captain Guy and his crew is dissolved unless she decides she wants to join the crew and swears to the creed of the crew. So that's a decision she ends up knowing. As they're heading towards that island, she knows that that's a decision she's going to make. Will she stay with Guy, or will she take the invitation from the female pirate and join her crew? And I definitely would love to see. It is answered at the end of this book of which crew she joins, but and I won't say which one she joins because both of them treat her very kindly and very respectfully. So she is torn about, Captain Guy or Captain Woman. I forgot what the woman's name was now. But at any rate, she does seem like a very cool character. She's got the, like, basically imagine Captain Hook only as a hot woman and no hook. You know? Is how she's basically described as, with a big hat and the feather and the red coat and everything. But I definitely want to see more interaction between her and Captain Guy, because there's definitely a history there that I want to have explored more. I would love to see more of Levanine interacting with the people, especially Norrin, and how the two of them, because she does have a close relationship with Norrin and with Rikishi and Archimedes, of course. We have to make Archimedes right. So, Dawn, fix Archimedes. I'm not going to let it go. I'm not giving up on it. Hashtag justice for Archimedes. Fix him. But yeah, the ferret's a good idea too. But Archimedes as well. Archimedes as well. Okay? Alright. Link in the description if you guys want to find out what I'm talking about, and you can join me on my crusade for justice for Archimedes. Until then, that's all I got for you this time. I will see you in the next video. Bye!